So what drew you to Maui? What is it that what do you love about Maui? What is it that drew you here?
Well, I think it was work, number one. You know, that's
Really?
what brought me. That was my calling, was the work, was that I got a full-time job teaching, and I could go anywhere with the Bikram yoga in the world, and I can still do that if I want, which is kind of cool. But that's what brought me here, and you know, it was the best thing that I ever did in my life. Bikram would have a couple of sayings. If you could do a posture, he'd say, well, the gods will chase you. And it's a metaphor. Money will chase you, and it's just a metaphor for things are going to work out for you. And because you have to have so much perseverance, determination to do these postures, you have to have a lot of concentration and focus. And I felt that I achieved that. My postures aren't perfect, but I put so much into it. And, you know, my dreams came true here in Maui. I have a wonderful, wonderful boyfriend. I'm just blessed. We have so much in common. He's a wonderful companion. You know, it's like life finally came together for me, and I want to attribute that to the new path that I took in my life.
So by taking that path, the rest opened up.
Opened up. You know, there were certain things I was lacking in my life. And Bikram was so cute. When I first took the class, looking at me, I looked perfectly fine. And when I got into a posture, he came up to me and said, your body is a piece of junk.
Wow. Wow.
You know, and I didn't take it personally, and he
Wow.
was really right.
And where was that? I'm just trying to get the visual.
I was 52 years old. That was 5 years ago. That was in Los Angeles. And I decided to certify, and I went in and I talked to him at first, and you know, we had a really good little talk and everything. He didn't know me from anybody else, but I think he had his eye out on me, and when he saw my practice, he said, your body's a piece of junk. I was disconnected. I was disconnected, you know, from my body totally. And you know, and I'm still disconnected in a lot of ways, and so I feel I'm continuously improving, becoming a little closer to what's going on. And what more can I say?
Well, I'm interested to know, you said you feel like you still are disconnected from your body.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. I think that'd be meaningful to people.
Okay, well, I'll try. You know, it's inner space. Let's talk about inner space instead of outer space. And then let's go beyond the emotion, and let's go beyond the drama, and let's go beyond, you know, the conflict that we face on a daily basis. And let's find that stillness. You know, when I think you think about outer space, you think way far out there, you know, where there's quiet, total quiet. And, you know, with every breath, there comes lightness into your body, and with every exhalation, you go into sacred darkness. And, you know, you're just in this floating stage or state. And then you want to go beyond the 5 layers of muscle even. You want to go into a cellular level or to a microscopic level into your body. And it's not something that you can consciously do. It's not like you can, you know, imagine that you're taking this panoramic view of the inside of your body and trying to maybe imaginatively look at what's going on. But I don't know if I'm in that space. But in any regard, I can take it back to a physical level of trying to connect my shoulder blades to my hip joints, you know, finding the muscles that pull them together, that draw them together, and opening up my chest, opening up my heart. I can go to a metaphorical level, going from a physical, and all of a sudden opening up into a metaphorical level of open your heart, open your throat. You know, you're going into a chakra here of truth. You speak, and opening that level, opening up. And then going into, you know, the various glands like your pituitary gland or your pineal gland, going into that level, tuning the body within. So fine-tuning your body. And then seeing how all these things from various levels, from an endocrine to a musculature to an anatomical to a physiological, all this coming together. And I don't know if I can be that literate about it, but I can, you know, sense these things from within.
Yeah, you're talking about something way beyond physical. You're talking about really, really going within. And as we're talking, you know, I'm becoming more aware of my breath. You know, because
we didn't even talk about the breath.
You passed it. You did. You touched on it in passing, and it's as far as I'm concerned, it's our connection with life.
It's in Latin. It's called spiritus. You know, spirit.
Yeah.
And you've got words like inspire, respire, perspire, expire. All these come from spiritus, in spiritus, inspiration. So yeah, it's phenomenal, and it balances a person. It calms a person. You feel tranquil. You know, hey, I better take a breath because I've been holding it all day and I've been breathing really shallow, and my heart is pumping, and I'm only taking air to my brain, but I've forgotten the rest of my body. And so you learn to, connect the breath with the rest of the body and notice how you're breathing and where you're breathing. And yeah, so it's a very deep meditation, yoga.
So literally with that, you become aware of where you're breathing in your body.
So like, for example, with the yoga, there's thoracic breathing going on, and it's through the nasal passages down through the base of the throat, as opposed to just sniffing it up to the brain and just taking care of that. And it's really basic, down to the base of the throat, so you're coming as close to your spine and feeding oxygen to your nerves, your central nervous system. So many interesting things. Bikram said an interesting thing is when 911 tower, the Twin Towers was blown up, making a connection between the heart and the brain, and on a metaphorical level again, those things that occur that you can always bring back into your yoga. The Pentagon almost got blown up. Let's say that was the brain,
so
the brain center.
If the Pentagon was the brain, what was the World
I'm
Trade Center?
trying to think. With the Trade Center, I don't know if it was communication. There's another thing that was going on there.
Right.
Another area, and you cut that off. It's like, to me, I look at it as a Tower of Babel. That the whole goal of the Tower of Babel was for people to speak one language, and in our case, it's English. Whether we like it or not, everybody's speaking English. And from a mythological level, they say that God was jealous, or he was like threatened by this being able to speak one language, and therefore he destroyed the Tower of Babel, and then we ended up babbling all our different tongues. We went back to that level. And so it's nice to be able to take something on a physical level and then interpret it on a, symbolic level or metaphorical level.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now that I've babbled. Yeah.
So you gave another metaphor of a pyramid, and how the pyramid is a metaphor or an analogy for the body.
Yeah, so I look at the pyramid, it's about 5,000-6,000 years old. How long did it take to get to that point of building the pyramid? Probably, millennia. And, it's the same with the yoga, that it's taken a long time. It's scientific. It's empirically studied. It's tuning in, communication, your central nervous system, it's tuning it in, and tuning it in with the universe, and tuning within, our ability to communicate. And we have to be as symmetrical as possible, in our bodies. Alignment is very important. And with the pyramids, apparently that these pyramids were structured in order for it to face to Orion. There's all kinds of studies as to astrological studies at the time as to why it was built in the fashion that it was and why it's facing in that direction. And anyway, many of our postures, our pyramid or our triangle is a pyramid. Symmetrically, sound foundation, incredible foundation, all the way from our foundation up to reaching up to the stars and then gazing up. So, yeah.